Welcome back to another episode of Cape Ann Today. I am speaking with Ethan Forman and Mern Sibley at the new temporary location for the Sawyer Free Library. They are live from that spot. Hi, you guys. How are you doing?
We're doing great. Now, Mern can't hear you, so I'm going to relay all your questions. But yeah, we are at the temporary location of the Sawyer Free Library. Isn't
All
this
right.
we're on location for
We are
Cape Ann
on
Today?
location. Exactly.
That's what
So
it
I
looks
think,
like, folks. That's the new place for, and it looks like everyone is happily ensconced there. I see books, I see lights on. It looks like a bright and cheerful place. Newspapers, right?
yeah, everyone is happily ensconced here.
Absolutely.
But I
Open
thought,
for business.
yeah, open for business. And I thought maybe Mern could explain to us a little bit of the exciting news from Tuesday's City Council vote for the loan order and what that means for the new library. This is why we're in the temporary library.
Right.
Mern, what does this mean?
Yeah, this means a lot. That's a great question. So we have been working for a long time to expand and renovate the Sawyer Free Library. And we have a grant from the state for $9.3 million. And this grant, however, comes with some strings attached, some constraints. And one of them is that we have to show that we can pay for the rest of the cost, the $28 million of the project cost. We have all those money up front, as it were, in a loan or grants. And so we needed the City of Gloucester to step up. We have been a partner with the City of Gloucester for many years, almost 100 years. The city has appropriated funds. And it's a public-private partnership with the city. So this is the next stage in our partnership where we are asking them for a loan, and this loan will allow us to accept that very large grant. And the grant and the loan will pay for our construction project. And we presented this to the City Council on Tuesday, the 25th, and they unanimously affirmed their support. So it was wonderful, 9-0. We were very happy to see that unanimity. And the City Councilors also, unexpectedly to me anyway, relayed a lot of very strong, heartfelt feeling about the library, how important it was to them personally, how important it was for their family and the community. So that was a wonderful affirmation of this place. So,
and Mern, can I ask you, why is the library important? Why is the Sawyer Free Library so important to Gloucester?
Yes, that's a great question. Another great question. The library is important because it's open and free to everyone of all backgrounds, all ages. And it brings people together in a way that no other place in the community does. You don't have to belong to any creed or, persuasion. You don't have to pay anything. It's open and it's free. And what we provide, obviously, are books, but a lot more than that in today's library. We have programming for all ages, interesting lectures, book clubs, all kinds of work with people who are learning English as a second language, job training. There's so much happening in the public libraries now, here and elsewhere, to really make them work in the 21st century. They are much more than a collection of books as they used to be in the 20th century. So things are changing.
And Heather, could I also ask Mern to explain how unique the relationship is between the city and the library? There's a library corporation. This is not your typical.
It's a little bit interesting and complicated and historic. So in 1884, a marvelous person named Samuel Sawyer, philanthropist, who also donated the land for Ravenswood Park and did other wonderful things for Gloucester.
Wow, I didn't know that.
He's a wealthy merchant, mainly made his money in Boston, but always had roots here in Gloucester on Freshwater Cove. He realized, probably back in the 1850s, he started it in a small way, that Gloucester really needed a library, a place for people to get books and learn, irrespective of their incomes. And so in 1884, he bought the land and building at the corner of Dale Avenue and Middle Street, which is now known as Saunders House. But that was the public library for many years until, throughout my childhood, that was the place to go, that 1764 building. And so for many years after 1884, it was simply a private corporation, the Gloucester Lyceum and Sawyer Free Library Corporation, for many, many years. And it wasn't, and over time, so what he didn't just buy the building, he also endowed it. He gave, I can't remember the exact amount, something over $100,000 at that time, which was very, very generous in 1884.
Yep.
Yeah. And the corporation, the trustees were frugal, and they lived off of the proceeds of that money for many years. In fact, they built a 1913 stack for books on that same money. But, in the 1920s or so, they're sort of like, we're really kind of needing some money, City of Gloucester. Can you help in any way? And so at first, what City of Gloucester did was they gave funds from the dog tax. Okay, so all the dog licenses
Wow.
went to the library, which wasn't a lot of money, maybe a few
Books and
hundred.
dogs. That's
Yeah,
funny too.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
So that was really not a serious help. And it wasn't until 1938, something like that, in the 30s, that Gloucester finally appropriated funds for its budget for the library. So since then, I really feel that that has been the true partnership beginning at that time, which is almost 100 years ago. And yes, so what the City of Gloucester does for the library going forward and has done for many years is it pays all the staff salaries, which is wonderful, and their benefits. So they are city employees. All the librarians you see work for the City of Gloucester.
Cool.
And they also buy a certain amount of money is set aside for books.
Nice.
And also lately they've paid for our interlibrary loan fees, which are significant, the Noble Network.
Oh, wow.
So all that the taxpayers of Gloucester support. However, there's lots of other expenses in maintaining the buildings and the grounds of the library, not to mention the programming that we do. So the corporation has a pretty substantial budget for that, and we take it very seriously, maintaining the buildings. So most other communities, certainly locally, other communities like Beverly have upgraded their libraries and fairly recently. That's all been borne by the taxpayers because the libraries are owned by the city. So Gloucester is a unique situation. So the library building is a privately owned thing. And we basically asked the city, can you front us some money? We'll pay you back in about 5 years, but we need the money now to get this job done for everybody. So I hope that kind of tells the story.
That's great. Isn't that great? Yeah.
It's a great relationship. And I love the fact that this this promise from the city council is just extending that relationship, right? The goodwill there.
Yeah, it's a great relationship, and they're extending this goodwill.
It's a real partnership, and it feels great that they, as I said, 9-0. That's a real affirmation of what we're doing.
Right, exactly.
Well, Mern, thank you very much for explaining that. What all that went on the other night.
It was a very big night.
It was a big
I assume
night.
you were paying attention, Ethan. I couldn't tell who was there on the call.
I was paying attention, and if you notice now, if you want to transition into talking about the space.
Oh, here we are.
Yeah,
yes.
You will notice that the Gloucester Times is right there with the story of the loan order.
Nice call.
I don't know if that's a good transition.
I love that.
I don't know if Mern has read the story yet.
I have read the story. I read it first thing this morning.
I read it too. Yeah. Great story.
So and I appreciate that, and I appreciate all the help that you've been providing us.
And Ethan, we appreciate the help and the publicity you give us. It's a real community newspaper, so that's important.
And so I guess.
Can we have a tour?
We're gonna go on a tour. Do you want to come with me, Mern? We're gonna go on a tour here.
Yeah, let's walk around.
We're gonna walk around. This is
okay.
So
I'll sort of.
Yeah. We're gonna do this.
Yeah. So this is about a little over 3,000 square feet. I don't know. Can she hear me? Yeah.
Yeah. You can hear her? Yeah. It's a little over 3,000 square feet.
Much smaller than the library, but very small but mighty here. So here's the children's library that we're in right now. Children's library staff. Yeah.
Wave to Cape Ann today.
Yes, Heather Atwood and Ethan Forman and me. So, and you can see
it looks very bright
signage. It tells people what's what.
Heather is saying it looks really bright.
That is a great thing. I know. Isn't it nice? It has a lot of really good windows and light. And it's very welcoming. Come on down anytime, Heather. Let's check it out for yourself. But it's really
how does it feel to be on Main Street?
Yeah,
like right on Main Street.
Yeah, so Mern, how does it feel to be on Main Street?
I like it. It's a great location. I mean, I like our regular location too, but it feels kind of great to go to, the cafe and come out and go to the library, which is what I did yesterday. I had a book on interlibrary loan. I'm like, oh, I'll just go pick up my book after I have my coffee, and here it is.
I was joking with Jenny, and maybe she had a conniption, but I said, why don't you have an annex down here? And she was like, we already have one library.
I know. That's an audacious suggestion. I don't think we could handle it. But maybe for now, this is going to be 2 years, which is a long time. Temporary, but 2 years is a significant amount of time.
People are going to get used to coming here.
They are. So, they're going to like it, and here's the local history section.
Oh yeah, this is way cool because now there's another tie into the Gloucester Daily Times. Our microfilm is over there. So if you want to find anything, a back issue, maybe this is a good service for people because they come down to the Whittemore Street location. We're on 36 Whittemore Street. looking for the microfilm. Heather, there's no microfilm at our location. In fact, I didn't even know that the library had all our microfilm.
Go back. Yeah.
So I guess
yeah.
I'll be headed to the library to
You
do some
definitely
serious
should.
research.
Yeah. Go
But-
back in time.
But look at this, and then one more detail, Heather, is that all right?
Yeah,
One
no,
more
I love
detail?
this. Yeah,
So
love it.
who is on the wall? I don't know if you can see.
Oh, Mr. Sawyer?
Benefactor.
Mr. Sawyer.
Mr. Sawyer himself.
That's awesome. I'm glad you brought that.
Yeah.
That's a
Oh,
great.
yeah. Gotta have something.
I want to know who the guy is, but right behind Mur, though. Who's that guy?
Who? Okay, we have to ask who is this now. I think one of the things, great touches, the library brought some of its artwork.
Yes. So this is a sculpture. This is a local artist, Martin Ray, who works in stone.
I know
And this is his portrait of our local poet, Vincent Farini.
Beautiful.
Oh, that's Vincent
That's
Farini.
Vincent Farini. See, he's
Oh,
and
interesting.
he wrote a book called No Fish, as in Know, fish, a
Mhm.
book of poems. And you can see Martin has been inspired by that because his mouth looks an awful lot like a fish. I thought. Anyway.
Nice. Nice.
Yes. So this is one. And I believe there's a Charles Olson. Yeah. Over there is our other sculpture. So these are in the regular library. Charles Olson.
This is cool. So here's a portrait of Charles Olson.
Is this also Martin Ray?
Young adult.
This is also a
Same artist,
same
Martin
art,
Ray.
Martin Ray.
Oh,
Charles
beautiful. It's a little harder to see that, but I see the Charles Olson look-alike there. The very oval. Yeah. Nice.
That's awesome.
Called Maximus.
Maximus.
Appropriately.
That's great.
Yeah, appropriately.
So folks, come on down if you're looking for the library at 21 Main Street in Gloucester. And I've been told, and I've actually experienced, there is actually plenty of parking.
Yeah.
Main Street turns over very quickly.
Does.
And
it does.
If you look out, there's St. Peter's
Yeah, the lot
Square.
over here. That's where I parked.
And
Yeah.
I've also been told, Mern, that the library lot on Dale Street is still open. It's
Still
not-
available
no
until construction starts.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
No.
So it's if you know where Mystery Train is, we're right upstairs from Mystery Train.
Right upstairs from Mr. Shane, the Cape Ann.
The old Cape Ann Community Cinema.
Yeah.
Do you remember those couches?
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
I
great.
certainly know them well. Yeah. So are there, Ethan, are there any services that did not make it in the move to the temporary location? Anything that we should know about?
Summer, any services that didn't make it over? Because what I've been told is if you need a book, you can order it from the
Absolutely.
Noble.
I mean,
system.
really, the services that are
all here.
that are hard to do are when lots of people gather together, which is of course what we love to do at the library, whether it's children's programming. So Children's Story Hour will be in a new location because there's lots of kids and they don't really fit in here.
Yeah.
So those kind of programming those are going to be moved. And you'll hear more about that in the weeks to come as we get that all figured out. But other than that, it's a full service. You can order books and do whatever here. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's computers
there's
available.
a
There's
bank of
yeah,
computers.
there's a young
Yeah.
adult
Oh,
section
good to
over
see.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, young adult. The teen
Teen
section is in the back,
whatever, Yep.
and like they said, a lot of audio visual stuff here, and they can get that from the Saunders House.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. The audio. Yep. The DVDs and stuff.
And,
And audiobooks.
and if there's a book you want, they're part of Noble. And they're going to order it, and they'll bring it
yeah.
here.
Mine came in 2 days, so that's
So
pretty good.
It's pretty good.
That's
Better,
great.
better than Amazon, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Better in many ways.
So
Well,
there you
thank
go,
you so
Heather.
much. That's great, Ethan. Great tour. Thank you, Mur, for all the work you're doing. And
Thank you for all the work you're doing.
It's inspiring. We're with a lot of great people. Our board is hardworking and focused, and it's a really good group. And the community is supporting us. What more do we want?
That's great.
It's good.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Heather.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
Heather.
very much.
All right, Heather, we'll see you from the temporary location of the Sawyer Free Library. And I'm hoping that in about 18 months or 2 years or roughly thereabouts, I'll get to be in the new,
We'll be
I'll be with
doing the
Mern
other
in the new
tour.
one. We'll be doing the other tour.
Yeah.
Go back and look
Yeah,
at this
all right.
one and say, oh boy, things are different.
Things are different.
Ethan Forman and Mern Sibley, thank you so much for joining us on Cape Ann today.
Our pleasure. Thank you for
Right.
joining us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Interested in a sponsorship? Email sponsor@1623studios.org to learn more.